STEM profession. Gain practical experience with emerging technology and equipment not found in the civilian world. The Army National Guard can get you started in an array of STEM-related career fields such as information technology, communication systems, special forces engineers, technical engineering, air traffic control, and chemical, biological, radiological, and nuclear science. Get a head start on your career in an exciting new field while earning money to pay for college, all while serving in your own community. Log on to NationalGuard.com or talk to a recruiter in your area to learn about all of the STEM career opportunities available to you in the Army National Guard. Sponsored by the Alabama Army National Guard. Aired by the Alabama Broadcasters Association and this station.
Want to help pull the plug on cyber terrorists? Or get the skills to work with satellites and other space technology? How about learning the avionics inside stealth fighters? And do you want to reach your goals fast? You can do it and take your life to the next level in the Air National Guard. Because you serve part-time, you do it in a way that works for you. You can achieve your career and educational goals with plenty of time for family and friends. The Air Guard offers nearly 200 career specialties, so you'll get the high-tech skills you need to kick your career into high gear. You can also be eligible for college tuition assistance. The best part is, in the Air Guard, you'll be making a real difference by serving your community and country. So get your future off the ground in the Air National Guard. Call the Alabama Air National Guard at 1-800-TOGO-ANG or visit goang.com/AL.
Good morning, Auburn, and welcome to another exciting episode of Compact Discourse right here on WEGL 91.1 FM, Auburn's premier home for student-run radio since 1971. I'm your host, Jack Hart, alongside my color man, Davis Carroll, joined by the illustrious Luke. Today morning, we'd like to welcome in our listeners in the Auburn Opelika Megaplex, as well as around the world, however you may be tuning in today, whether that be on your terrestrial radio antenna in your car or home, via the information superhighway at weglfm.com, or watching our YouTube live stream, or if you're listening to our podcast after the fact on transistor.fm, or watching the replay on Eagle Eye TV. However you're getting this information today, we thank you for joining us on Auburn's only student-run drive time morning show. And now, of course, we are broadcasting live from the Bradley-based and WEGL studios, right here in the Harold Melton Student Center on the campus of Auburn University here in Auburn, Alabama, where it is a beautiful 73 and partly cloudy this fine hump day morning. It is Compact Discourse. It is, of course, Wednesday, September the 8th, 2021. We wish you a most sincere buenos dias, guten morgen, bon matinee, or good old American, good morning. As we get on with the show, Davis, Luke, how are we feeling today? How are you guys doing for this week finale of Compact Discourse on a WEGL Wednesday, mind you? So we got a pretty exciting show lined up for you guys.
Feeling pretty good. Feels really good outside, but I did bring an umbrella that I happened to find on the ground the other day, just in case it rains.
Okay.
Yeah, you never know with that weather. I've just started packing rain jackets just about every day, no matter what it's looking like.
Very pragmatic solution.
Yes.
All right, well, at this point, I would like to remind our audience that if at any point in the next 2 hours you feel so inclined to ask a question, answer a question, drop a hot take, or in the highly unlikely event that we get something wrong, you can correct us. Go ahead and call in at 334-844-9345. That's 334-844-WEGL on your touch-tone keypad. You can also shoot us a tweet at CDiscAU, and our dedicated team of call screeners will handle your inquiry. I might be a little more likely to get to that tweet, as I have about 15 things to keep my eyes on here in the studio. So, without further ado, let's get on with the show. Luke, it's good to have you back. I know we had you on the Monday show. What have you been getting up to since then?
2 times in 1 week. This is crazy.
I know.
Your show regular?
We got the NFL season's kicking off tomorrow night. There's plenty of excitement going on this weekend. Auburn's taking on Alabama State in football. Are you a Cowboys fan, Luke?
I am a Cowboys fan.
Okay, so pretty big game coming up tomorrow for the Texas faithful.
I'm a little bit more of a loose follower with the Cowboys than the Mavs, but definitely would consider myself a Cowboys fan. And then a couple of my roommates are actually Bucks fans, so
Okay.
might have a little heated watch
Interesting.
party tomorrow.
All right, well, we are going to bring you a little bit of campus news to start off the show as I'll switch over to the 3-cam view. Yeah, it looks all right. Luke's a little hiding behind his mic, but that's okay. So here's some campus news. Auburn is, of course, expanding its COVID-19 testing options on campus. COVID-19 testing capabilities on Auburn's campus will soon be increasing. Currently, drive-through COVID-19 testing is available by appointment only through the AUMC, that's the medical clinic, Monday through Friday from 8:30 to 11:30 a.m., starting at 1 p.m. Tuesday, September 7th. So yesterday, the university will expand upon that by also conducting testing through the AU Pharmaceutical Care Center Monday through Wednesday from 1 to 4 p.m. by appointment only. So the location will remain at the South Quad parking deck. The number of appointments and time slots will continue to increase, and afternoon appointments will be scheduled through the Auburn University Pharmaceutical Care Center's online scheduling system. Appointments through AUMC are made through 2-5. So 334-844-9825 if you need to get a COVID-19 test through the medical clinic. Additional testing locations in the Auburn area can be found if you go to the COVID-19 Resource Center on the university's website. If you are found to have a positive reading on that test, it is encouraged by the university to fill out a self-report positive form so that the university can continue to monitor trends regarding COVID-19.
Where is the medical clinic at?
The medical clinic is
I've never been. Never
Davis
had-
doesn't get sick.
it's on
I usually don't- if I do, I don't go there.
it's on Lim. So if you're driving down Donahue and you get to the intersection with the nursing school
Mm-hmm.
and Lim Morrison, so if you turn right, you'd go to the frat houses.
Yeah.
If you go left, the first building on your left would be the medical clinic.
Okay. Interesting.
But-
Just in case anybody else didn't know.
But the tests are administered at the South Quad parking deck, which is where the parking office is, if you've ever had to pay a parking ticket.
Okay.
So, in that general area.
Keep an eye out just in case.
Yep. Just be informed of the university's COVID-19 policy as it continues to, adapt and evolve as the virus continues to adapt and evolve. So, encouraging everybody to continue to stay safe. As a reminder, masks are still required inside of all university buildings. So, if you're not alone in a room or in a situation like this, so be sure to continue to wear those unless you're actively eating or drinking. I've been wearing them all morning while I go get my coffee and what have you. So, continue to wear your masks inside university buildings until the university says otherwise. So that is your quick COVID-19 update. And on over to the weather, where in Auburn, Alabama right now it is 73 degrees and fair outside is the adjective we're using to describe it. Your high is going to get up to 83. Your low is going to get down to 70. So it's been pretty cool this week, all things considered, for an early September week where it was peaking around the 90s in the past 2 weeks. It's not really getting above 85 this week, so good news. And I think the rain is contributing to that just a little bit, or at least the cloud cover, as we continue to see a lot of action in the Gulf and the Atlantic. From this morning, it's probably going to get up to 78 degrees. There's an 18% chance of rain, so good call on the rain jacket and umbrella, fellas. This afternoon, it's probably going to get up to around 80 with a 60% chance of scattered thunderstorms. So just make sure you keep an eye on the weather before you head outside, or the radar, rather. This evening, there is a continued chance of rain down to 37%, scattered T-storms, and then your overnight temp is going to be around 71 degrees. So pretty mild day, all things considered, when you consider it's an early September afternoon in lower Alabama. We're also continuing to take a look at Hurricane Larry, who has pretty much planted itself right in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean, waiting to make a move. So that one is still off the coast of Puerto Rico and has been categorized as a Cat 3. Looks like it's going to be downgraded to a Cat 2 as it continues to head into some cooler waters, but it has been making a northerly turn. It does not look like it is heading for the east coast of the United States anytime soon. However, there is continual downpours and flooding along the eastern seaboard in the New Jersey, New York areas as we continue to deal with the run-on effects from Hurricane Ida. So there could be potential dangerous swells at East Coast beaches, but it looks like Hurricane Larry is not going to make proper landfall on the East Coast of the United States. All right, and that is your quick weather update. So continue to monitor the radar today. I always check it before I go outside just to see if I'm going to get caught out without an umbrella. So that is going to do it for your weather report this morning. We'll be back with the weather in about a half hour. All right, guys. How are we feeling about today? It's a WEGL Wednesday. I know we got a big lineup of shows coming up this evening. We got Woodstock Hour. We've got Cheetah Print. We've got a pretty fun evening of WEGL shows coming up. We have Auburn Stages is coming up this Thursday. So tomorrow evening on the Cater Lawn at 5 p.m. If you want to see some live music put on by Dylan, we've got Auburn Stages will be this evening. Dylan's coming on the show in the second hour to talk about that. He's also going to be joined by DJP and Will Root, who are going to bring you some music content as we are going to celebrate WEGL Wednesday in the only way that we know how, which is just to chat about what we've been listening to and whatever DJP brings into the studio, which honestly, there's no telling.
But I'm trying to see a colorful bird.
Do you think he's seen a colorful bird yet?
I don't think he has. It's pretty hard to get your...
He's talking about a Kevin from Up.
Oh,
He's
yeah.
trying to see the snipe.
I saw Kevin one time at Disney World. He was walking around.
Okay.
He was very tall. But yeah, that's it for that story. How's y'all classes looking today?
I got a 9 a.m. and that's about it. And then we're clear skies until that thunderstorm rolls
Sounds
in.
fun.
It's Wednesday, so I don't have any scheduled classes, but I did have to schedule a ProctorU exam for this evening, which I'm a little perturbed about. It's my first ProctorU exam ever, so we'll see.
I've never had to do a ProctorU myself. I've heard they're annoying.
I think I need to I don't know, find a private room or something.
Can't you just do it in your room?
I guess.
Or do you need a blank
My room's
wall?
kind of messy.
What are they gonna do?
Even
to clean your room?
Even if I cleaned it, well, yeah. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, actually they might. That's how ProctorU. I think you're supposed to be against a blank wall or something.
Even if I technically cleaned my room, there's still loose papers and office supplies everywhere. That
you can go in your laundry room and just hope that the mold doesn't get to you.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like I'd suffocate if I spent 90 minutes in my laundry room, even with the door open. I don't know. I might go over to BK and rent a room or something because I need to figure that out pretty quickly.
Good luck with that.
Yeah, so we'll see how that goes. I will be happy to report how the ProctorU exam went. All right, so we are continuing on with our discussion. I know we talked about nostalgia yesterday, Luke, and kind of what things in our lives can be tainted by nostalgia, whether that be a kid's show, a kid's movie, or we talked a lot about video games as well, considering that's such an interactive experience. Has there been any instances recently? I know college is all about, consuming media, revisiting things from your childhood, watching new movies and shows. So when you meet new people. So has there been anything kids-related media or just something you enjoyed in the past that has recently been the rose-tinted glasses have been taken off for you?
So you're saying it would kind of be something you go back to later on?
Yeah, a movie you used to love as a kid. I mean, you watch it now and you're like,
and it's
well,
just not
I'm
the
seeing
same.
I'm seeing some plot holes here.
Yeah. For me, I'd probably say some of the first couple Star Wars that were made because they're great and all, but I feel like once you've seen those newer with the crazy graphics, you go back to the original A New Hope and they're just barely tapping because I think
That's
they
true,
had glass lightsabers they were filming with, and they're just some of the effects are just kind of off. You just notice a couple.
That gives it some charm though, in some ways.
Yeah, no, it definitely does because it's kind of this thing that's like stuck in the past.
Yeah.
Like you can't change it.
I will admit, when I was a kid, I was fighting like the prequels, not the originals. I was going crazy with those toy lightsabers.
Oh yeah, I
Those things
definitely had
hurt.
several.
Those things really
I had
hurt.
the Mace Windu.
You ever
the
get hit
purple
on? You
one.
ever get hit on the knuckles with one of
Yeah.
those? You wouldn't do anything for the rest of the day after that. That junk hurt.
And then there were some kids with the glass ones that like light up. You ever seen those?
My cousin had one of those, and he always wanted to fight with it. I was like, you're not allowed to fight with that one. Get the plastic one that you like, and like opens up.
Yeah.
We probably had like 15 of those collectively on our street. That's like all my family lives on one street, like cousins and stuff. I don't know where they all are now though. Like they don't make those anymore.
Yeah.
And I don't know where they all went.
And then sometimes they would get stuck or they like wouldn't come out.
I knew all the tricks. And he had like a Boba Fett helmet and a Boba Fett gun. Man, what good times those were. Jack, were you a lightsaber dueler as a kid?
Not really. I wasn't very good at it. When I'd go to my friend's house that did have the lightsaber, excuse me, that did have the lightsabers, I would lose pretty handily. I would always get like backed into a corner. I wasn't a very good fencer, but I don't know. I had the I would dress up my Nerf guns to look like a clone blaster.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I was more into the ballistics aspect of Star Wars.
That's a shame. So you'd be a clone before you'd be a Jedi.
I mean, I went as a clone and as Jango Fett for Halloween. Not at the same time, obviously, for I think 2 consecutive years. But no, I was never a Jedi.
Well, I guess that probably says something about you deep down, but we're not going to get into that.
All right.
For a later date.
We are going to head to a quick break, and when we come back, we're going to continue to discuss what we have going on right now. I got Luke and Davis in the studio with me. We'll talk a little Auburn basketball as we have news about Flanagan that we need to share with the world. We'll be right back after these messages. Don't go anywhere. You're listening to Compact Discourse.
Smith. You may know me from my work as Scuba, one of the hosts of the hit award-winning show Nerdcore on WEGL 91.1 FM. But what you may not know about me is that I'm a website enthusiast. That's why I'm here to tell you about WeagleFM.com. It's our hotspot on the web with live broadcast articles and more. It's like a gift that keeps on giving. Tune into your favorite shows at any time with a 24/7 online stream right on the homepage. And don't forget to check out the schedule for our station's full selection of music, sports, and talk shows. For the sports fans, there's articles aplenty covering all of the current events in football, basketball, and beyond. For those music fans, WEGL FM has got you covered. We have album and concert reviews and theme playlists for any mood. We even have live musical performances with WEGL Sessions. There's more than enough content here to keep you procrastinated when you really should be studying for that test. That's right, we know you've been slacking off. Get back to it, lazy. So, no matter what sound you're looking for, we've got it only on WeagleFM.com. That's WEGLFM.com and Weagle 91.1 FM, Auburn.
Attention men under the age of 35. You know what really impresses the ladies? When a guy has a few drinks and later gets pulled over for buzz driving. That could cost you around $10,000 in fines, legal fees, and increased insurance rates. There goes let's grab dinner and a movie. Oh, I know. You drive more carefully when you're buzzed. You've proven that hundreds of times. A woman admires that kind of confidence. And you've practiced how to speak if a cop does pull you over. Slowly, clearly, and politely like, "Good evening, officer." A woman admires that kind of foresight. And what woman doesn't find it adorable that you call it buzzed even though the law calls it drunk? You could kiss $10,000 goodbye, along with any chance of having a girlfriend. Because nothing says, "I'm a catch," more than a guy who lives in his parents' basement and calls it my place.
Buzzed, busted, and broke. Because buzz driving is drunk driving. A message from the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
Welcome back to Compact Discourse right here on WEGL 91.1 FM. I'm your host, Jack Hart, joined alongside Luke Walker and Davis Carroll. We are coming at you live from the WEGL studios here in the Harold Melton Student Center. I want to remind you that WEGL is available to follow on both Twitter and Instagram. If you want to do so, that is at WEGL_AU on both Twitter and Instagram if you want updates about all things WEGL, including DJ spotlights, announcements about events, and whatever else the marketing team has cooking up over there. It's a pretty good-looking page, if you ask me. Gone over a pretty severe makeover in the past few months, and it looks pretty good. And then the Twitter page, you can follow at WEGL_AU for all the updates about the station, including potential maintenance or when we're going live or what shows are going live and when. And I also retweet a lot from at CDiscAU on there, which is where we make updates about this show, including who we have coming up on the next show, what we may be talking about if you want to get your opinions in early. Sometimes I post the trivia question there, and that's where I post a lot of the podcasts. If you don't want to go out and search for them yourself, you can just go over to the Twitter page at CDiscAU and check that out. We also make show announcements, including the one that there will not be a show tomorrow. So I know we normally have a show on Thursday, but I will not be able to host tomorrow, so there's not going to be a show tomorrow. So this will be our Week 3 finale of Compact Discourse, and I think it's going to be a good show. We got DJP, we got Will Root, we got Dylan, we got Grayson potentially coming on. It's going to have a lot of fun, but that is the future. Let's talk about the present. We have Luke Walker and Davis Carroll sitting right next to me right now, and we are going to discuss the news that came out yesterday that Alan Flanagan of the Auburn University basketball team, he is a forward, is out indefinitely after undergoing surgery on his right Achilles last Friday. It's coming from AL.com. Flanagan underwent a successful procedure to repair his Achilles after sustaining what the program described to be a, quote, non-basketball trauma. Recently, Flanagan is expected to miss 12 to 14 weeks. What's your knee-jerk reaction to this, Davis?
First off, my knee-jerk reaction is to hope that he'll recover well, since it's not.
We're glad that the surgery went well. It's not a complication with repairing it. So.
From what I understand, from what we've heard, it's not a full tear, and they haven't said it was, so that makes it a lot easier to recover from it. A full Achilles tear is probably the hardest injury to recover from basketball, or I guess sports-wise in general. Obviously, there's been a few that could do it. Dominique Wilkins did it well. Kobe did it well. Kevin Durant's doing it well, but there's a lot of other players that did not do it well. So just hoping Allen recovers well, takes it slow, takes it easy so he can be back full strength. But the question really is he's a junior right now, I think. Or no, yeah, he's a junior right now, so he's my grade. Will he stay another year after recovering, which I think would be the smart thing to do, or would he just go straight to the NBA because he's like the 18th ranked prospect or something I saw?
Yeah, he's the SEC's fourth leading returning scorer. He averaged 14.3 a game.
So I think it would be advantageous for him to look into NBA draft if his stock stays kind of high, or at least in a good spot in the lottery maybe, but I think he'd probably come back for his senior year if he recovers well, which would be good for Auburn.
So it was only a partial tear, like 50% or so.
Yeah,
is what the article was saying.
It doesn't really give like percentages, but like it doesn't say it's a full tear.
Yeah, based on the recovery period
Yeah.
and the type of surgery he received, I think that's our best guess.
But partial tears still need like surgery.
Yeah,
Huh.
you gotta fix it. Former kinesiology major here. I don't know about all the surgeries and stuff. But any partial tear still needs a lot of rehab in itself. Like if you hurt your knee partially, like if you partially tear your ACL, that can still require surgery just to fix it up so you don't. Because if it's a partial tear and you keep walking on it, you can fully tear it later on. A few of my some of those classes stuck with me. All those kinesiology classes are still in here somewhere.
So, Luke, are you a big Auburn basketball fan?
I'm a little bit of an Auburn basketball fan. I went to probably 5 games this past year.
Okay.
I don't follow too heavily, but I know this is a big injury, big burden on the team.
You're going to have to show up to some of the basketball guys get there 3 a.m. this year to get to some of the games.
Yeah, I know. Those lines start crazy early.
That's why you got to get there.
Would I catch you in line if I showed up at that time?
You would. I've been there with Jack at 3 a.m. before.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll see.
I think I definitely need to do it at least once.
I do not. I spent all of 2020. So from excluding the Vanderbilt game, which was our first home game in 2020, all the way to Texas A&M, which was our last home game in 2020, I attended every Auburn home basketball game. So those were all conference games except for the one Iowa State game in the Big 12 Challenge. But you know what? It was not fun at the time getting up at 4 a.m. and especially if you're me and you hate the cold, sitting in the cold on a like moonless February morning was not fun at the time. But you know what? I do not regret any aspect of it because, it's better to have a good story than a good time, I always say. So I really made the most of it. And, Davis and I, we were watching the game, one of the greatest Auburn basketball games ever played. And
you could see us.
We're sitting there right there on the front row on every highlight. So there's no experience that wouldn't make it worth that. So it's really awesome. It's a really good culture. And I know we got Jacob Hillman in-house here at WEGL, is actually the president of the Jungle, coming up for this for this upcoming season. So I'm very excited to work with him, work with WEGL to get some really great student section experiences on the table. And I know Bruce Pearl is super enthused to work with the students because he loves the students, and whether that be coming out to throw bagels at us or just supporting us and however we want to support the team. He's been a really great face of the team to lead. It starts with a culture change, and that's exactly what Bruce Pearl has brought to Auburn in what he's doing. Because he transformed not a basketball school into a basketball school, and that's a tall task if you ask me.
Yeah, there always feels like there's such a big feeling of community amongst the basketball team and kind of like the fans.
Yeah, one of the hardest things you can do in any field is get people to care, and Bruce Pearl has aced that test, I think.
Jack, you mentioned the bagel incident.
Bagel incident.
I forgot about that until you mentioned it. Do you think that? Well, I'll explain it in a second. Or the Tiger card fiasco this year was more disorganized.
Well, I don't know. The bagels were lower stakes because
it was very lower stakes, but that was way more disorganized. So were you there? Wait, you're a sophomore, aren't you?
Junior.
He is a junior. Interesting. I was told you were a sophomore.
Bad information.
Someone lied to me. I'm also a junior, so something just fell out of my pocket. But so Bruce Pearl came out with what game was it? It was a big crowd. I remember that.
I could check. But it was also during the day, or it was a morning.
It was early morning.
So that might have made it an 11 a.m. tip. So maybe it was LSU.
I don't think it was.
No,
it was further
LSU.
back.
Yeah.
It might have been what was the game where SEC or not SEC Nation game or whatever it was.
Kentucky.
Yeah, it might have been Kentucky.
Could've been.
But so he came out with a big box of bagels and maybe 2 things of cream cheese. You weren't getting cream
Poor
cheese.
ratio.
And he'd be walking through. He's like, "You want a bagel?" And he handed it, and then after just for the photo ops, and then he handed out some. I was able to get my hand on one somehow, and then for some reason they just gave it to the box, if I remember correctly, it was just the kids in the back, and they just started throwing them. They weren't even trying to get it to people. They just started throwing them, and there's probably still bagels on top of the arena.
For a few months there were bagels on top of the Auburn Arena sign of the student center, the student section entrance. And I don't know. I think that was our last breakfast with Bruce.
Yeah, we got in trouble for that.
We lost our breakfast privileges.
And then some guy just had the big jug of cream cheese. I remember that. And people were like, "Give me the cream cheese." And he was like, "No, he was just holding on to it." That was crazy.
The cream cheese.
Yeah, I didn't even want any cream cheese.
It was like Lord of the Flies out there.
It was.
People were punching each other.
I think there was almost a fight over some bagels, actually, now that you say that. I think I'm going to vote for that as more disorganized.
What time was that out? Because I feel
was
like
early.
people, if they're there that early,
The sun was up,
standing in that cold.
and it was February, so maybe 8:15. I don't know. I have a great video of Baymark throwing a bagel. Maybe a little incriminating, but it is very entertaining to watch.
It is. They had a weird trajectory once you threw them. They flip over in the air and then fly like a frisbee. I mean, it's a bagel.
We can discuss the aerodynamics of bagels at a later date. But I think with that, we are going to head to a quick commercial break. And when we come back, we're going to continue to sit and discuss with Davis and Luke all things Auburn and all things around the country as we continue our discussion here on Compact Discourse. You're listening to Compact Discourse right here on WEGL 91.1 FM. We'll be right back after a 2-minute PSA break.
Unexpected reactions to smart financial decisions brought to you by feedthepig.org.
Well, I finally did it. I improved my credit score.
You're kidding, right?
No.
How are we supposed to be the bad boys of electro synth pop if you're out there being responsible? The band is about to be discovered. This is our year.
Yeah, you've been saying that for a while now.
You think anyone in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame was worried about their credit score?
I never really thought that.
Of course they weren't. Rock stars aren't supposed to think about that kind of stuff. We're supposed to think about how many guitars we've smashed, write aggressively sensitive power ballads, start questionable fashion trends, tragically break up and blame creative differences.
All right. I thought maybe it was time to take control of my finances, you know? Start using a budget, get out of debt, set some goals.
A budget? Debt? Set some goals? Listen, I knew that we'd have our creative differences, but I was hoping they'd involve a little more scandal.
When it comes to financial stability, don't get left behind. Get tools and tips for saving at feedthepig.org. This message brought to you by the American Institute of CPAs and the Ad Council.
Dave, what are you doing?
Just sending a gift to Dave 2037.
Who?
Me in the future. I save a little money from every paycheck as a gift to Dave 2037, so he can spend it on things like anti-gravity boots or a hologram Doberman, something cool like that. I think Dave 2037 deserves it. He worked hard. What are you getting Steve 2037?
I guess I was thinking Steve 2037 would just fend for himself.
Well, all right, but don't expect to be borrowing my anti-gravity boots.
You want to have money in your future? You got to start saving now. Putting some money from every paycheck into a savings account or contributing to your 401k can make a big difference later. Put away a few bucks, feel like $1 million. For free ideas and easy ways to save, go to feedthepig.org. That's feedthepig.org.
Hey, let's just hope Steve 2037 doesn't get his hands on a cold time machine, because he is going to come back here and knock some sense into you.
This message brought to you by the American Institute of Certified Public Accountants and the Ad Council.
Welcome back to Compact Discourse right here on WEGL 91.1 FM, WEGLFM.com, or however you are joining us today. We welcome you into the show. We're broadcasting live from the WEGL studios in the Auburn University Harold Melton Student Center, and we are very happy to have you sitting in the booth with us for another 2-hour show. This is our final show of the week. It is a WEGL Wednesday. We will have DJP, Will Root, and Dylan coming in to discuss all things music and Auburn stages in the second hour. But for now, it's your host, Jack Hart, alongside Luke Walker and Davis Carroll. Sort of the theme we've been talking about for the past 2 days is about children's television shows and are they immune to criticism, as well as what can nostalgia, how can that blind you from thinking critically about your favorite shows. And there's a bit of news that's come up about a children's TV show as of late, and that is none other than Blue's Clues, the cartoon blue dog who solves mysteries around its house. Davis, what's the news?
It seems that... Oh, wait.
Go ahead.
Okay, it seems that from what I've seen some ads for it, is that they have like maybe a reunion episode or something's going on where the original Blue's Clues guy, I think his name's
Steve.
Steve.
And it was Steve and
John
Joe.
Or Joe. When I was a kid, I was a big Blue's Clues fan. Steve and Joe were the ones I watched.
I remember when Steve left. That was tragic.
I don't remember when he left, but I remember just one day it was Steve and the next it was Joe, and I was like, oh, okay, there's a new guy here.
They just didn't mention it at all.
I think they definitely did. I just missed that episode.
I think the story was that he went to college.
I think it was. Did you ever hear that theory? Like in the mid-2010s, it was like Steve always wore the long sleeves because he has sleeve tattoos. He was in a heavy metal band, which isn't true. It's not true. But like I remember hearing that, I was like, I can't believe it.
That sounds like someone would say to me.
Also, same vein as Mr. Rogers wears long sleeves because he has sleeve tattoos from when he was in the Marines in Vietnam, which is also not true. I don't know what is it with sleeve tattoos.
Well, I mean, it's the irrefutableness of it. I mean, you can't disprove it.
You've definitely seen both of them without long sleeves on.
Okay.
I'm just saying.
Okay. But, yeah, Blue's Clues. Fond memories with Blue's Clues?
Yes, I personally do. I don't know about y'all. That was my show as a kid. Who's your favorite kid?
What was the mailbox thing again?
The
mailbox speak?
We just got a letter.
We just got a letter. We just got a letter. Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, pretty much everything spoke. The Salt and the Pepper spoke.
Paprika, cinnamon.
Yeah.
The shovel in the pail. I'm on the wiki page right now looking at this.
Looking at the anthology of Blue's Clues characters. I mean, there was a cat that was from the city.
That was Periwinkle.
Okay.
I knew that one off the top of my head.
Blue's Clues was they taught you colors a lot, right?
Yes.
They taught you about chartreuse.
Probably. I remember Magenta was the other dog.
Okay, yeah. And chartreuse was another dog, the green dog.
I think that was just called Green Puppy.
Green Puppy?
That's what it says on Google. How do you spell chartreuse?
That's some real creativity.
Starts with a CHART. Chartreuse.
I have it enough. I'll figure it out.
Okay.
What is the name of the green dog on Blue's Clues? Green Puppy.
Green Puppy?
You think a 5-year-old kid's gonna be like, oh, that's chartreuse?
They were teaching that color on the show.
Why would they teach chartreuse before green?
I mean,
you're skipping a few steps there. You have to have an understanding of green.
I just remember they would teach you like fun and unique colors, and I remember they were magenta, periwinkle, and chartreuse.
This is a cute puppy. This is a cute little green puppy.
Is he related to Blue's Clues?
No.
Or Blue?
Was Green Puppy like evil? Was he grumpy?
I remember Green Puppy.
Was he a foil to Blue?
I think Green Puppy showed up after my time on Blue's Clues.
I love how one-sided characters are in like children's shows. Like he's like always grumpy or like always this.
It's pretty cut and dry.
Here's a live journal. What? This is crazy. It's a live journal website. If you know chartreuse, it's likely you know it from watching Blue's Clues. It's like a blog post.
That's where I know it from. Chartreuse is actually a very light green.
It was the episode where they mix colors.
Chartreuse on your
it's more limey than the one on my.
You're asking the wrong guy about colors.
I know about colors.
Okay.
Chartreuse puppy.
There was an episode where they mixed colors.
I do remember that.
Yeah. I have a very vivid mental image.
And they always jumped into pictures.
Yeah, Blue Skidoo. You can too.
Yeah.
Ooh.
We should do that for Compact Discourse. We jump into like a picture of the studio and then we're here.
Okay. I'll get our production team
think
on
about
that.
it.
When you think about it, this guy was just like kind of in a world of his own, just talking to little salt and pepper shakers and his dogs. He was a little bit from a realistic perspective, he might have been a little bit out of his mind.
Okay.
Can we say that?
That's an interesting read.
All right, so have you seen...
Were there any other human characters?
There was, I think, the mailman? Did he deliver
That's his
mail?
only
That was
human...
Mr. Rogers.
That's his only human contact?
Mr. Rogers had Mr. McFeely, but I
That's
don't think
true.
there was a human mailman on Blue's Clues.
That's fair. You did see Steve interacted with Josh and Joe in the newest commercial. But have you ever, Jack and I, when we watched it, it was the pretty distinctive design. Have you seen the new design of it since then?
No, did it get like modernized?
Yes.
And like
I'll show a picture to the camera
minimalist?
too. This is what we watched. There's a picture for Jack. I'm sure.
Oh
you
yeah,
remember.
that takes me back.
You see Luke.
Side table drawer.
Oh, yeah.
My
Yeah.
guy, side table drawer.
I always liked the chair. We had a chair like that in my house, and I'd sing the song. I'd sit in it.
I had that you know
The
when
thinking chair.
when they'd find clues and he'd write it in that little notebook.
Yeah, I had one of those. I was really bad at drawing the pictures though. He made it look so easy. Okay, and here's the new one. Here's to the camera.
Oh, he's just in the void.
Well, that's just like a promo pic, but like the CG dogs, there's blue and magenta.
It's not pleasant for those of you who can't see it. It's a bit unsettling.
The old
is
one
word I
always
would-
looked like it was like they drew it on like construction paper, just put it on the 2D background. I don't know how they did it.
Yeah, I mean it's like Babies for South Park.
Yeah, that's what it was. But yeah, I was a big Blue's Clues fan. When did magenta get glasses? What? This is crazy.
I think you're too far gone, Davis.
We need to watch Blue's Clues sometime. See if we remember it all.
We'll report back with our findings as we figure out if what Green Puppy's real name is.
I think it's Green Puppy.
If we can get
Admittedly,
that.
his name is Green Puppy or her name. I'm not sure.
All right, we're gonna head over to Word of the Day now that we're done talking about children's television shows. And the theme of Blue's Clues was learning something, so we'll try to teach you something here on Compact Discourse today.
Wait, before you go, there are other live action characters I just found out, but you can do your thing.
Who are they, Davis?
Steve and Joe's grandparents or
Okay.
grandmother. Are they related? Interesting. Miranda, Magenta's live action owner. Marley, deaf librarian who uses sign language.
That is.
Winona, Sam, and Tyrese, the caretakers of Blue's classmates. And Julia, a slipper hair woman. But she's only a deleted scene.
Cast.
What a niche job to have.
Yeah, I'm a slipper
I'm a cobbler, but only for nightwear. All right, so we're gonna jump into Word of the Day. We're gonna learn you a thing, as I like to say. We'll let someone define or try to define it. We'll let someone try to spell it, and that's how it works here on Word of the Day. I am, of course, the keeper of the word, And the word today is nascent. You guys know this word? This is one of these words where I've heard it, but like gun to my head, I couldn't tell you what it meant.
I have heard it.
I'll go for a spelling right now.
Okay.
I'll go for a
Start.
N-A-C-E-N-T.
One more time.
N-A-C-E-N-T.
Is it Nascent? E-N-T?
Yeah, it is. It's nascent. Kind of like you smell with your
scent.
Like a scent. Although that's not at all what it means. So there's a hint for the definition.
Okay. Could you give me a sentence by chance?
Okay.
I don't know any context of the word.
Let me think of a good sentence. Elon Musk's nascent company, SpaceX, attempts to send a man to Mars.
Up and coming? That's my guess.
Okay. I'll
burgeoning.
I'll give you 50%. 50% correct on that one, Davis. Nascent is, of course, an adjective. It is especially of a process or organization. Is something that is just coming into existence and beginning to display signs of future potential.
Heck yeah.
So
that's close enough for me.
That was pretty close.
Give me 0.5 on the word of the day score.
All right, I'll chalk that up. Our team of tabulators will put that in the files for your records.
That's not a word you hear often, but I feel like I've heard it more than once in my life.
I feel like it's one of these words that once you read the definition, has such a specific definition, which is why I love learning new words, because a big problem with language is that words stop meaning things when people overuse them, So people will start using nascent to describe things that aren't processes or organizations, and then we lose the word effectively, because you're just filling everyone's head with synonyms, and we lose our language. So it's important to use new words and spice up your language.
I had a word last night read, and I'm going to try to find for you.
All right, it may just be on the next edition of Word of the Day here on Compact Discourse. All right, Luke, I know you got to get out of here after this break, but is there anything else you'd like to share with the audience? Anything you're excited about this coming weekend, because we're not going to have a show until next week, or anything you've accomplished this week that you'd like to share with us?
I would like everyone to wish me luck. I've just placed a Grubhub order for some coffee.
Oh,
the time just right before that 9 a.m. We don't know if it'll hit or not.
Probably went pretty quick right about this time.
We will see. But yeah, nothing else. Just thanks for having me.
Straight black coffee.
You excited for the game this weekend?
I am. Yes, a little early.
Yeah, after last week's long Saturday, I'm very excited to kick off at 11 a.m. against Alabama State.
Yeah.
And so with that, I do want to bring up that our trivia question, you can still send in your answers at CDiscAU. We did kangaroo trivia last week because we played Akron, and their mascot's a kangaroo. But we're playing Alabama State this weekend, so we're going to do some Alabama State trivia. And this one is about a astrological phenomenon that occurred in Alabama that, as far as I could tell, has never occurred anywhere before or since, verifiably. And that is what is known as the Oak Grove Meteorite, which fell from the sky in the mid-20th century and did something very specific once it made impact with the Earth. So what did the Oak Grove Meteorite do to make it so famous that it appears on the Welcome to Oak Grove sign when you drive through Silicaca? That is your trivia question for Compact Discourse. If you answer it correctly, you might just get a shout-out on the show. And even if you answer it incorrectly, we'd love to get your input on that one. So you are listening to Compact Discourse right here on WEGL 91.1 FM. I want to thank Luke for coming in and hanging out with us this morning. We're going to head to a quick break. I might just pull Grayson in here to discuss mascots again, because I got some good material for this one. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Unexpected reactions to smart financial decisions, brought to you by feedthepig.org.
Well, I finally did it. I'm improved my credit score.
You're kidding, right?
No.
How are we supposed to be the bad boys of electro synth pop if you're out there being responsible? The band is about to be discovered. This is our year.
Yeah, you've been saying that for a while now.
You think anyone in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame was worried about their credit score?
I never really thought that
Of course they weren't. Rock stars aren't supposed to think about that kind of stuff. We're supposed to think about how many guitars we've smashed, right? Aggressively sensitive.
Take control of my finances, you know? Start using a budget. Get out of debt. Set some goals.
A budget? Debt? Set some goals? Listen, I knew that we'd have our creative differences, but I was hoping they'd involve a little more scandal.
When it comes to financial stability, don't get left behind. Get tools and tips for saving at feedthepig.org. This message brought to you by the American Institute of CPAs and the Ad Council.
Dave, what are you doing?
Just sending a gift to Dave 2037.
Who?
Me in the future. I save a little money from every paycheck as a gift to Dave 2037, so he can spend it on things like anti-gravity boots or a hologram Doberman, something cool like that. I think Dave 2037 deserves it. He worked hard. What are you getting Steve 2037?
I guess I was thinking Steve 2037 would just fend for himself.
Well, all right, but don't expect to be borrowing my anti-gravity boots.
You want to have money in your future? You got to start saving now. Putting some money from every paycheck into a savings account or contributing to your 401k can make a big difference later. Put away a few bucks, feel like $1 million. For free ideas and easy ways to save, go to feedthepig.org. That's feedthepig.org.
Hey, let's just hope Steve 2037 doesn't get his hands on a cool time machine, because he is going to come back here and knock some sense into you.
This message brought to you by the American Institute of Certified Public Accountants and the Ad Council.
Welcome back to Compact Discourse right here on WEGL 91.1 FM. We are heading towards the final segment of this first hour. Get excited for the second hour of the show. We got DJP, Will Root, and Dylan coming in to discuss music and Auburn stages. So get excited for that. Luke had to go grab his coffee for his class at 9. So we are welcoming in station manager Grayson Moyer into the booth, where we always have a fruitful discussion about whatever he learned in his crossword on any given day. We also got Davis looking at his textbook for more words, I guess.
I found some.
And potentially exposing the mysteries of the Blue's Clues universe. So we are continuing a discussion. I want to remind you guys that you can follow WEGL on Twitter and Instagram at WEGL_AU. And I'm going to throw it over to Davis while I field this phone call.
Should I do the word?
Yes, that's what he asked for.
Okay. Which one should I do first? Okay, the first one is equipoise. You ever heard of that word before?
No.
Okay, do you want to try to guess?
So it's equal something. Poise, how do you spell it?
EQUIPOISE.
Poise.
I'm going to get in the book. I'll read you exactly from the book.
So, like, I honestly don't know. I can only think of, like, posturing, but, like, I have no idea.
It has to do with law, because this is my law book.
Well, I got that part. Yeah. Equipoise. Yeah, no clue.
Okay. Or does Jack have a guess?
I have Bay Marks. Bay, we got you?
Hey, what's up, guys?
Hey, Bay Marks. How are you doing this morning?
I'm good. I'm glad to be calling into Compact Discourse.
Yeah, I told a little story about you when we ate some bagels with Bruce earlier. You remember that?
Oh, dude, bagels with Bruce never fails.
There you go. All right, what do you have for us, Bay? I know Davis will be excited to hear this.
So earlier on the air, y'all said you needed the research team to look into green puppy, on Blue's Clues.
That's correct.
All right, well, me, as in the research team, and Google, as in my researching program, we found ourselves at bluesclues.fandom.com. I have some answers for y'all.
Okay, hit us.
Okay, so the official name is Green Puppy or just Green.
That's what I said. That's where I was.
Green.
So that is the official name of that character. It is a minor recurring character in the series. The gender is female, but often is mistaken as a male dog, and its first appearance was in the episode Blue's Sad Day.
Green Puppy's cute. Nice little cute puppy.
Maybe it made Blue's Sad Day a little better.
Was this character in like a lot of episodes? Because I have no idea who you're talking about.
The first appearance based on BluesClues.fandom that I saw was 2008, so I don't think I was watching.
Yeah, that might have been beyond my time.
Well, yeah. What do y'all think Green Puppy's age is? I'll give you one guess.
4.
2.
6.
6.
Wow.
Does Green Puppy have like a snaggletooth?
That's not much of a puppy.
Yes.
Okay.
It looks like she has buns too.
Okay, I got you.
You know Green Puppy? Does Jack remember Green Puppy?
I remember a dog with like a snaggletooth coming out of her lower jaw.
Green Puppy does not have a snaggletooth, but Green Puppy is characterized as an emerald-colored puppy who also loves to knock over block towers. So I guess you can do with that as you will.
I mean, let he who's without the sin cast the first stone.
I'll have to
enjoying knocking over block towers.
I'll have to disagree with you, Bae, because it does look like she has 2 snaggle teeth.
I'm
not.
Okay, well,
What do you think?
On the bottom row.
Yeah, I see the picture.
Showing everybody.
Y'all may have already discussed this, but have y'all ever seen like the real life equivalent green puppies? Like sometimes lighter colored dogs when they're born come out green.
Whoa, I do now. Looks like
it wears off after a couple weeks. It's just like stuff that basically gets on them in the womb. But
looks like they poured Gatorade on it.
A lot of times golden retrievers or like yellow labs, any like white dog can come out green like that. It's pretty rare, but they don't stay green.
That's pretty cool.
Interesting.
That's a fun fact.
But yeah, y'all talking about Blue's Clues had given me major childhood PTSD, so I figured I'd dig into my own research to calm my nerves.
That's kind of the nerve we've been striking for the past 2 days on Compact Discourse. We've been talking about a lot of old stuff and shedding a lot of tears in remembrance of our childhoods.
On the early morning media studies hour.
It's a very nostalgic path to take, but there's also some PTSD in there. It's a fine line you have to walk.
Yeah.
It's a good balance. All right, Bae, I want to thank you for calling into the show. I want to remind anybody else, if you're listening in, it's 334-844-9345 if you want to get your Blues Clues opinions on the show or anything else we talk about, if I'm being real. So, Bae Marks, thank you. Have a good weekend, and I hope to see you on Saturday as the Tigers take on Alabama State.
Thank you, Jack. Appreciate it. I'll talk to y'all later, boys.
Yes, sir. Have a good one.
So, how long were y'all talking about that before I was here?
Blues Clues.
The
whole segment.
The better part of a segment. Davis did get sucked in by the Blues Clues wiki.
I got nostalgic.
I was referring to how Steve was the main guy. I mean, he went to college was the lie I was fed as an impressionable child, and he was replaced by Joe, who did not wear stripes. He wore, I think, squares on his shirt was his hustle, and I think he wore purple instead of green. So,
I believe that's correct.
If correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that is
They'll call back in and
the lore of Blues Clues. But enough about that. More Blues Clues talk than I was expecting today. But Grayson and I had a pretty fruitful discussion last week about mascots and the role they play in sports, in advertising. There's something unsettling about a man in a foam suit, but the MLB has partnered with Cinnamon Toast Crunch.
I saw
to bring these in the cardboard cutout era. You could see a lot of these new. Of course, we all remember that. Speaking about childhood nostalgia, we all know about the scary Cinnamon Toast Crunch commercials where they try to eat each other.
Sure.
But they fall into the minimalist trap, and Cinnamon Toast Crunch has gone cel-shaded 2D and has new scary Cinnamon Toast Squares that I assume try to eat each other. I think that's the whole hustle with the cereal. But MLB, back in the cardboard cutout era, they had these new Cinnamon Toast Crunch Squares sitting out in left field sometimes. But now that people are back in the stadiums, they had to up their game a little bit. And what I can only describe as a failed SpongeBob prototype was hanging out behind home plate at the Marlins game last night. And if you haven't seen this photo, go ahead and check it out. I saw it on Chris Creamer's Twitter, which is that's sportslogos.net for those of you who are not familiar with that. He has a pretty good Twitter account. He just posted a picture with no context of this Cinnamon Toast Crunch square sitting behind home plate. Cabrera was pitching, and I assume that was very distracting to have that staring at you with those dead eyes.
It's
as,
honestly
as
like
you attempted to wind up on that one against the Mets.
It's like a Lovecraftian nightmare. Like, it feels like something I would have seen after eating too much melatonin. Like, it's just like unblinking, gigantic. It's scary.
It is gigantic, and that's something I just looked at the picture again, and it was bigger than I remember. It's taking up what looks to be 3 or 4 seats worth of space. And something I just noticed looking at the picture again, the two gentlemen it's standing in front of are both comically looking over their shoulders inverse of each other to get just...
Well, why would you want to look at the pitch? There are going to be plenty of pitches in the game when you can just stare at the Cinnamon Toast Crunch monster.
Evan, is there anyone sitting behind it?
I hope not.
They just wheeled in a brick wall.
Is there an actual person in that suit, or is it just like a statue?
No, they were calling balls and strikes. There was a guy in there.
Oh, great.
It was calling balls and strikes. Well, I mean, we talk about robot umps all the time and how we need to get the human element out of the MLB game to keep it consistent, keep the strike zone consistent. But I mean, as long as we're getting rid of humans, I think we could just replace the umpire with a Cinnamon Toast Crunch square.
Yeah, if it's going to be a computer, let's integrate some brands.
And I think, I don't know, that would drastically reduce the number of passed balls and rather than going behind the umpire, it would just thump off of him like it's wall ball.
I think if it does get hit by pitch, it should still have the option to chase down the pitcher. Like, that would bring an element of fear into the game that I think would improve baseball quite a lot.
Yeah, I think pitchers would be more likely to hit the strike zone if there was the fear of getting attacked by the Cinnamon Toast Square.
Absolutely.
I think there was someone behind it. There's like someone 2 rows back, and it's tall enough that they still can't see. It's like
the 16-foot tall Cinnamon Toast Crunch. It actually gets a little bit bigger throughout the game. They continually swap it out so that every time they cut back to that camera, it's just a little bigger.
That would be great.
They just have iterations of the suit.
Well, I mean,
Cinnamon Toast Crunch now. They did their job.
Oh no, they won.
Uh-oh, call to action.
That's what Chips Ahoy did to me the other day.
That used to be my dad's go-to cereal.
Oh, it's good.
He was one of those crazy people that insists on mixing 2 or 3 cereals in the single bowl. But anytime he ate Cinnamon Toast Crunch, it was a single.
The college dining hall special.
Cinnamon Toast Crunch is awesome.
Yeah, he just never stopped doing that. I don't think he really eats cereal that often anymore, but whenever he did, it was 2 or 3 at once.
What's your cereal choice if you eat it?
It's hard to say. I do like Cinnamon Toast Crunch, maybe Rice Krispies. I like simpler cereals. But I mean, I really don't like sweet stuff all that much in the morning, so I typically don't go for cereal.
Jack? You got that 10-pound bag of off-brand Rice Krispies or whatever.
Those are utility Rice Krispies. Those serve a purpose. But if I'm kind of an old man. I don't really like sweet cereal.
Raisin Bran.
I'll go. I do like Raisin Bran for dietary reasons. I also enjoy a nice plain Cheerio. Any kind of fibrous cereal does me well. So I reward them by promoting fiber cereals. So. You know what? I really don't eat cereal that much. I was thinking about we were during one of our mini challenges. We were discussing whether or not milk was allowed as a beverage, and whether or not it was allowed in a bowl of cereal. And I'd consider that in college I haven't really eaten cereal that much. It's not really my go-to because if my go-to breakfast is usually like yogurt and granola, not cereal.
Well, the problem is cereal is a commitment. No matter how you pour it.
You have to
can't,
eat it,
yeah, you have to finish it. That cereal is ruined if you don't finish that bowl.
Mm-hmm.
And it's always deceptively, you pour an entire bowl of cereal and it's always just a little too much
Maybe
for early
for
in the morning.
I've gotten goated at pouring my cereal since they're just the right amount.
Sometimes I'll have a dessert cereal,
Yeah,
before bed.
Good one.
Yeah.
I like Rice Krispies, or if I'll get bamboozled into buying some Oreos or Lucky Charms or
Lucky Charms are good.
Some crazy cereal that will probably kill me.
The kid inside your brain is
Yeah.
like, you have money now.
Exactly. Yeah. If it's at the end of the aisle and it's corn based, I'm all over it.
All right.
Hey, Crave's very underrated. That's all I'll say.
All right. Well, we're gonna head to a quick 5-minute break because it is 9 o'clock. So we're going to end the first half of the show and get on with the second half of the show, as we are going to be joined by DJP, Will Root, and Dylan. So don't go anywhere. We got an exciting second half of the show coming up after these messages. We'll be right back.
I'm Tiffany. I have some tips for you on how to quit smoking like I did. First, I did some reading about it. I found a lot of great advice on how to quit smoking and picked out the ways I thought would work best for me. I started by setting a quit date. Then I threw out my ashtrays, lighters, and matches. I did other things too, like exercising more, and it worked. But I'd still get cravings, especially on long car rides. To help me with that, I put a picture of my mother in my car. She died of lung cancer from smoking cigarettes when I was only 16. Now I have a 16-year-old daughter. That picture of my mother reminds me that I don't want to miss all the things my daughter is going to do in her life, including turning 17.
You can quit. For free help, call 1-800-QUIT-NOW. A message from the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and CDC.
The thought of my sons growing up without me inspired me to quit smoking.
I talked to my doctors, and then I threw away all my cigarettes, ashtrays, and lighters.
I started exercising instead of smoking.
Getting support from friends online kept me on track.
Staying away from alcohol when I was first quitting was key.
Instead of smoking after I ate, I'd get up and take a walk.
I missed having a cigarette in my hand, so I'd hold a pen or a straw, anything.
Until I knew I wouldn't give in to temptation, I spent more time with my friends who didn't smoke.
I went to places that were smoke-free.
I didn't stay quit the very first time I tried.
I kept on trying, and I learned something each time.
Do whatever it takes.
No matter how many times it takes.
I quit.
I quit.
I quit.
We did it, so can you.
You can quit. For free help, call 1-800-QUIT-NOW. A message from the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and CDC.
It's the top of the hour, about 9 a.m., and you're still listening to WEGL 91.1 FM. Well, you made it this far. Go get yourself a cup of coffee. You've earned it.
I really need a cup of joe, and if I don't get one, I think I might blow a gasket, and it's not a pretty sight.